Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are watching Off the Track, and it is time to drop the hammer.
All right, so this next story here is something that I'm starting to relate to, and I think this is one of more of the funny moments. So I think this is actually at Southern Oregon Speedway, and we were watching the Dwarf Cars race.
I think it was the Dwarf Car National race at the time at the Southern Oregon Speedway, and I think it was before 360 Speed Week, not ISCS Speed Week.
And this is before I actually was really interested in the Dwarf Cars. And so I remember me and you were watching the race beforehand because I think they were before us.
They ran before, and the sprint cars were last.
Yeah. And so we're sitting there watching, and the thing that I've kind of learned with Dwarf Cars is they really want the car tight because I feel like they're hard-handling cars. That's what I've been told, so I don't know 100%. But anyways, we're watching, and there is this guy just loose as could be, all right? He's just loose, and I think Southern Oregon has like a hot pit.
They do,
right?
It comes in right on the backstretch where the staging is, and I think this night, like the track was kind of right around the bottom. A lot of guys were just ripping down low, and it's a Dwarf Car National race, so there's some big time Dwarf Car guys from the West Coast, and there's just a little section of stands that you can stand on that's completely full. It's really even hard to see the track, but continue on.
So there's this guy just loose as could be, and I think there was a red flag because there's a pretty decent flip. Well, he comes in, and they changed the tires on him, and I think they put reverse stagger or something like that.
They just put the right rear on the left rear and the left rear on the right rear.
So this guy goes back out, and me and Tanner are just sitting on the top of the stands, and this guy is pushing harder than a dump truck. I mean, on the top, I would...
Dead last. He's losing ground on the whole field.
I would pull off at this point because I'd be so pissed. I love a tight race car, but this thing is so bad.
Oh, dude.
And the crew chief apparently is standing next to us, and he's like, that's my guy right there. And I'm like...
Yeah,
dude, nice.
He was literally cheering him on, like jumping up and down. Like he was so pumped to see his driver, like just, I don't know, he's just pushing. Well, and they were all excited.
Yeah, well, the thing was that apparently this guy and his crew have been struggling to get the car tight, apparently, because it was so loose. He's like, dude, we got that thing so tight. It's awesome. Like, he's going nuts, and I'm just like, right on, dude. Like,
we're just standing next to this guy as he's about to get lapped at a Dwarf Car National. I say, you put it in the show. That's cool. But that's kind of where... I think our initial love watching the Dwarf Cars just because that was something that was really funny that sticks out. And our saying, you're saying that you come up with, if it ain't tight, it ain't right.
Yeah, and that's the funny part too is Tanner knows I like a tight race car, and I always say if it ain't tight, it ain't right. And someone like me in running karts and stuff, I don't like stagger. You like stagger. I don't like stagger. If I can on slick track, I'll run reverse stagger. Probably not going to run reverse stagger in
after
a Dwarf
watching
car.
That Dwarf Car guy. No. Probably not.
But one of the funny things is I've given Tanner like my setups on iRacing. He's like, "How do you even steer this?"
Literally
thing?
wide open in a wing sprint car, just pushing like a dump truck. So that's one of our favorite Dwarf Car stories from the Southern Oregon Speedway, and that kind of led into our Speed Week like the night before or whatever happened there. That was a lot of fun.